Okay, I think you've seen the introductory video, and yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you again to this webinar session hosted by Digi and SITS as a platform. Thank you for joining, and my name is Nazrul, and I'm currently the head of Graduate and Emerging Talent Department in Talent Corp, an agency under Ministry of Human Resources. And I think it's not too late for me to wish all of you Selamat Hari Raya, Happy Keamatan and Gawai Harvest Festival to those who are celebrating. So our topic for today will be on expanding your horizon to be an employable fresh graduate in Malaysia, which is a very significant topic for us to discuss now. Have you ever imagined before that we are going to face any situation like how we are facing it now? One significant thing that the COVID-19 pandemic proved to us is the only thing that constant is change actually. Hence, the agility is very, very important for us, and it is very key for us to brave and thrive in any unprecedented situation like this COVID-19 situation. So we never imagined that we are going to stay at home for the past near 2 months. Basically, it's like freezing all human activities, no traveling, and no tourism activities at all. So it's something that unprecedented that we never imagined even 9 months before. So this topic is very, very much about agility and your ability to adapt in any circumstances. So before we proceed with this session, allow me to introduce our three talented young CXO apprentices who will be with me throughout this session. By the way, as explained in the video, Digi CXO Apprentice Program is an initiative by Digi to provide opportunities for young talent, Malaysian young talent, to be inspired and mentored by their chief officers. So it's a bit different from normal management training program. This is when you are able to be mentored directly by the chief officers. So I'll go by seniority. So who is the most senior? Khalid, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I think
okay.
not oldest,
Khalid,
most senior.
yeah, that's why I mentioned the word senior, not old. So first is Khalid Amru Ambok Channing. So Khalid is currently Sustainability and Corporate Social Responsibility Associate at Digi. And Khalid was previously CXO Apprentice to the CEO of Digi. And going by order, the second most senior is Izin. Betul?
Yep. Hi,
Okay,
everyone.
so Izin is currently the campaign strategist at Digi, and at the same time, the deputy chairperson of a Young Corporate Nation. And Izzy was CXO apprentice to the CTO of Digi. And finally, the youngest, isn't it? Sadika Ubaidillah, currently the CXO apprentice to the CEO of Digi. So, sorry. We would love to receive questions from you throughout the session, and I suggest we use the Q&A function in the Zoom to post the questions. So throughout the session, feel free to post any question to the panelists, the apprentices. So I think we will start. Of course, we go by seniority. We go with Khalid first. So Khalid, I would like to ask you, what was your dream career before? Because your current role in sustainability and CSR, were you familiar with the role before? Is this your dream job?
Wow.
Maybe you can share. Yeah.
That's a very interesting question. Thank you, Nazwa. Thank you, everybody, for coming this morning. So I think that's there's no straight answers to the question. For me, I was involved quite a bit, growing up, both in Sekolah Menengah, so in high school, and as well as in university. I did a lot of like community work. It was a lot of these beach cleanups, planting trees, soup kitchens. And so like I grew to like it, but honestly, growing up, what I wanted to do initially, you always have those dreams, right? What I wanted to do initially was to be a pilot. And that changed quite a bit when I entered university. So when I entered Taylor's, so I studied in Taylor's for about 2 years. I did the American degree program, and then I studied my last 2 years in the States,
Mhm.
in San Francisco State University. And it was during these 4 years, right, that I actually got super interested in politics. And so for the longest time, I wanted to be a politician. I wanted to come back to Malaysia, and join politics. So it's strange,
Okay.
how from being a pilot, it went to politics.
All right.
And now I'm in the CSR sustainability arm of Digi. And so I guess it's interesting, how all of these kind of like combine together, right? It's through experiences in life and through the things that I've done that have really kind of like changed the way that I've seen the world and how I did things. And it's funny because in Taylor's, I studied business. Right now I'm in CSR. So to answer your question, to go back to the question, right, I feel like I never really knew what I wanted, but I tried a lot of different things and then it stuck with me, right? So CSR and sustainability now have become things that I really love doing. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, I can see your evolution from your, your school time, your time in your college and universities, and I know that you were the MSA president in US, right? So, and that leads to actually to your aspiration to be involved in politics, but now you are doing sustainability and CSR. So, I mean, how actually you adapt from one stage to another and to ensure that you are able to give your best in your current role. So, I mean, how was the adaptation like?
There were definitely a lot of challenges along the way, both before the CXO Apprentice program and even during, where you really have to figure out, what you like and what you want to do. So for me, it wasn't an easy kind of like transition, right? Something from politics, so like for wanting to do politics to jumping into like CSR and sustainability. But I realized, and this is something that I got from my mentor as well, Alvin.
Okay.
He did mention that you don't need to be a politician to make a change, right? You can do a lot of things within the country, within your community, within even like your company, even your corporate that you're working for, without having to be in politics. You can do so much for the people around you without having to be in politics. And after working, not only in Digi but even my previous experiences, right, I understand that. So he really helped me like understand that the reason I wanted to join politics was to help people, but I don't need to be in politics to help people. There's so many other avenues that you can do it. So
Okay,
it's through mentorship. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that really shows that, I mean, the mentorship really helps you to see things in different angle and perspective.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, thanks, Khalid. Okay, let the lady speak now. Izin, you are technically an engineer actually. I mean, to be specific, you are a chemical engineer. You have a master's degree in engineering. But now you are a campaign strategist. I mean, can you share briefly about your journey? I mean, from your engineering journey to a campaign strategist. So it's totally two different worlds. So yeah, can you share a little bit about your initial journey, your transition from your study time into your professional world?
Yes. Thank you, Nazro.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I get this question a lot, especially like when I started working. So actually, I think since young, in high school and in pre-U, I've always been like really interested in, studying sciences. And that's why I picked engineering as my degree. And I think I do really enjoy, the past 4 years that I have in university, because I do find engineering is the course that I really wanted to do. And also it's quite challenging. But at the same time, I do have the awareness that, it's okay if I don't pursue in a career in that industry after I graduated. And I think in my uni, we are also being exposed to this sort of like mindset, because whatever that you study doesn't really decide on your career, doesn't really, it's not really important to like what you want to do in the future. And that's why after uni, I know that I want to look for something else. I don't really specifically know what I wanted to do, but that's why I started to go into like, oh, I know I want to join like management training program. I want to join graduate scheme because I feel like it will give me an opportunity to explore, build the breadth, and to see that throughout the program, what sort of things that can actually interest me. So actually, throughout my apprentice program, I haven't really been involved in like campaign management stuff. I was working on robotic process automations with IT DevOps teams, and that was a fascinating journey as well. But after that, I do realize that, hey, you know what, I would like to pursue in being like a business analyst, because I like to be involved in, between marketing and technology. I would like to be the bridge between them. And I would like to be able to story tell and sort of be the bridge between the two teams. And that's why today I'm quite happy with like what I'm doing. I'm passionate about like my role.
Yeah, thanks, Izid. I'm interested in one key point that we want to share is it's important for us to keep our option wide and to expand just like our topic is to expand the horizon, not to limit ourselves to a specific field of career. But I believe that when you say that you want to be a bridge between technology and the business side, so the fundamental that you learn from your engineering background actually is you to be the bridge between the technology and business. I mean, is that the case?
Yes, definitely. So a lot of people will ask me like, oh, you were an engineering graduate. Why do you not want to be an engineer? Why do you want to do something else? But I believe that, the skills and the knowledge that you learn throughout your degree are actually transferable. So actually, like throughout the engineering course, I feel like it has helped me to develop my problem solving skills, like make me to think critically, and also like organizational skills. These sort of skill sets are actually very useful, especially in my current job scope, where, like, yes, like what I mentioned, like being a bridge between like marketing and technology, I sort of need to understand, things in like two teams. So I do feel like being in so-called technical side before would actually help with the case. It does.
I believe that, the structured thinking that you have as an engineer and combine it with the creative side of it, I think that makes you a good campaign strategist. Yes, that will be a good tips for our fellow participants in this webinar session. Means that regardless of what you are studying now, you can always use the knowledge that you learn from your degree courses or your diploma courses. Yeah, but it's not limited to that. I mean, the world is so broader than that. So where you can expand your horizon actually. So I'm going to move to the next lady engineer here. So we have two lady engineers. Sarika, you are also an engineer. You are a chemical process engineer.
Yep.
But I think since that because you are still an apprentice, you still have an option to be an engineer. So do you see yourself becoming an engineer in the near future, or you are seeing your future as well?
Okay, okay, that's a tough question. Okay, but hi everyone. Thanks so much for coming to our webinar. So basically, I graduated in chemical engineering, and then I work in a manufacturing industry for less than a year. And then because I don't want to waste my degree, I feel like, you know what, hey, I should try out the industry so that I can like at least give some sort of justification to myself that do I really belong in the industry or not? So I joined the industry, and then for the past 6 months, I had a realization that I don't really enjoy it. I feel like there's something missing. I feel like this is not where I belong to. And then I don't know, the feeling just keep on bothering me to the point that I feel like, what am I doing with my life?
Okay.
So because like throughout my life, I've been stagnant. I didn't really decide what is it that I wanted to do in the future. So I just go with the flow. I just listen to what is it that my parents wanted me to do. So yeah, so I've worked as an engineer, and then after the realization, I feel like, I should be in charge of my life. I shouldn't be, remain stagnant and idle and just settle down. So I feel like, I like designing. So I also like engaging with people. I like doing sales. I actually even like create an online business to sell shawls and also clothes, because I really enjoy doing that. Yeah. So and then I come to the realization that, maybe I should apply to marketing roles. So I sent over my CVs to the respective companies, but none actually take me in. I think it's because of I don't have any experience or degree in marketing. And then I feel like, okay, maybe I should join a management program. At least I can get a holistic view of the company, of the business itself. So I applied to the management program, and I got in. So like what I'm doing now is it's mostly in marketing, even though I'm the CEO's apprentice. So I've been doing a lot of things that involves new products for new customer segments. I've been working with a home broadband team, and also we have a new project called Digi Wi-Fi. So yeah, so far I've been enjoying the exploration that was given to me, the opportunities, but I'm still on a search, like what is it that I'm good at. So I have like the remaining months before my graduation, so I just needed to explore more so that I know that, okay, this is what I really wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Sadika. I can conclude that at the moment you don't see yourself an engineer in the near future.
Yeah, I
But
actually,
interesting
yeah.
that Sadika is actually, I know that you are good in photography and video editing.
Yeah.
So that might be the marketing side of you, actually.
Yeah,
Even though
actually,
you are an engineer,
even like before I joined the program, I actually took online classes just to like upskill my game. I took online classes in photography, social media marketing, so that I can be relevant in the industry that I'm planning to apply with. Yeah.
Okay, that's another key point, a very good key point from Sadi, where, I mean, we need to keep ourselves progressing. So we need to have a growth mindset. So even though you have completed your degree, there are so many things that you can learn to keep yourself relevant and up to date to the current demand of the industry. So, I mean, being an engineer together with a skill of video editing and photography makes a good complementary side of your skill. Means that from the technical side of it, you're already an engineer, you are a trained engineer, and you have this creative side from these skills that you develop yourself. So I think that that's a good mixture that every employers are looking for in the young graduates. It's interesting that you only you are using this management program actually to seek more clarity of your future. So I believe there are some students, they have clarity right from the beginning of their study time, some throughout their study, and some need some intervention, like how you are using this management to have more clarity about your future, which I believe you have another 6 months for your apprenticeship, right?
Yeah, roughly like 4 months.
4 months. So I think you have 4 months to be clear of what you want to be.
Yes.
And I still believe that it's an evolution. It's not it's a dynamic world. I mean, even though currently, for example, Khalid is a sustainable and CSR associates, Izin is now doing campaign strategy, but it's not limited to that. As you evolve, you might move to another position which you are not familiar with. So it's important for us to keep ourselves updated with the current knowledge and technology. As I told you, how we chart our roadmap, how we make adjustment to the changes along the journey, and how we optimize our strength is key for us to thrive and in this professional world. Because at the end of the day, I believe your self-awareness is very critical for you to have a clarity in your roadmap. And all three of you, you are having different stage of clarity seeking. Khalid, I think the transition comes at the college level. You are involved more in CSR activities, and then after that you want to be a politician, and then you come, and then the transition, yes, the transition come when you engage with your mentor. Your mentor give you a different angle and perspective, and after that, okay, this is what you want to do now. Is it slightly different because you are a trained engineer, and then after that you want to be more involved in marketing side? So you are clear about that when you have completed your study, and so is Sadika. So after going through that journey, I just want to ask, what would be your 3 key preparation to ensure that you kickstart your career well? Very brief one. Anyone?
Okay, I guess I'll start.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the question. So I think the question again was 3 key preparations, right? That you need to take to kickstart your journey. So I think just to go on what Sadi said as well, I think it was great, the fact that you actually upskilled yourself before joining the program. I think it's very important to understand what the industry needs as well. I think now there's so many new types of jobs out there in the world as compared to like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. You know, the joke is, the stereotype is, when you have a son or daughter, you want them to be 3 things: a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. But now, you know, we have things like, you know, campaign strategists. We have things like, you know, sustainability. We have things like, you know, like, fiber optic lines.
We have professional gamers.
Itulah. We have people becoming YouTubers, professional gamers, you know? And, you know, there's so many new jobs out there, right? And I think now more than ever, there are, you know, with access to internet, with access to information online, there's so many new skills that you can learn, and it's all at at your fingertips. Like right now, I'm learning Chinese. You know, Sadi learned photography online. So there's so many things you can learn at your fingertips, and so there's no real reason to say that I don't know what the industry is now. I don't know what a job is for me, and I don't know what a suitable job is for me. I think now you can try out so many things for free. You know, you can learn coding for free. You can learn languages for free. You can learn photography for free. You can even learn to, you know, stream your games for free. So, you know, I don't think that's an issue anymore, right? And I don't think that can become a reason as to why you don't know the industry. So I would say the top 1, 2, and 3 things that I have for young, fresh graduates out there is to be curious and explore, right? If you don't know what you want, explore that. You know, watch a YouTube video on how somebody does engineering in like a peanut butter factory, for example. See if that's right for you. If you want to jump into, you know, becoming a pilot, but you don't know if that's right for you, why don't you watch a few YouTube videos on you know, pilots, what they have commented. You know, when I wanted to become a pilot, right, I downloaded this game called Microsoft Flight Simulator. And it's basically a simulator on how to fly a plane. You know, it's very realistic. It has all these buttons. And so, yeah, that's the kind of age that we live in, you know. And so
But is it because of the simulator now you don't become a pilot?
No. The simulator was great. And the simulator made me actually want to do more of that. But there were other reasons why I didn't pursue that at the time. Yeah. But I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? There's so many avenues that you can tap into now that allows you to explore without having to, jump into something head first. And so I think that fresh graduates now use what you have at your fingertips, use the internet that you have, and just research, right? Find those skills that you need, and don't dive head first, but put your feet into the water a little bit and understand your industry. Yeah.
Okay, Khalid, I think that's a good piece of advice. Means that we have all the technology in front of us. Now it's just a matter of whether we want to take action or not. We can always visualize what that profession is all about. So it's all in the internet. Yeah. But at the same time, I also believe that having a good conversation with people from industry, people who are already in the industry, is a good thing to do also. Beyond the internet, so that if you have communication, means that you get the information direct from the horse's mouth. So that will be another good area that we can explore also. So Sadi, the transition, what are your 3 key preparation in your preparation of your transition from your study time to the current professional world?
Okay, thanks for the question, Nazrul. So I think the main point will be, be adaptable and be agile, because I think we've known that the world is moving and changing so drastically. So you need to be more agile. Like, how do you adapt to these changes? Like for me, before I entered Digi, I understand from the people around me that, okay, telco industry is fast paced. So at the back of my head, I was thinking, oh, it's fine, because previously I was in manufacturing. So, manufacturing is quite intense. It's quite pressured. So I feel like, okay, no worries. I mean, I could handle this. I can just handle this. It's the same thing as my previous job. But then when I joined telco, it's totally different. It's way faster than in manufacturing. So you really need to be on your toes constantly. Be alert with the changes that's revolving around you. So when I joined DG, I was given lots of projects, and one of it is I have to do a financial performance of the telco industry. So I don't really have a basic background in finance. So honestly, it was daunting and overwhelming, because you as an apprentice, right, you have these expectations like to nail it. How do you perform better than the rest? So it was quite overwhelming, because you don't have the basic knowledge. Like, how do you get through this? So what I did was, just take a step back and don't be afraid. Embrace your fears and try to find ways to the solutions. There are always solutions to every problem. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with all these fears. What I did was that I'll just approach the people around me and seek for help and seek for clarity, so that they can help and guide me in order for me to pass through these barriers.
Okay, so mean that we can say that first you just embrace your fear, and then after that you need to be as agile and as adaptable as you can.
Yes.
And always solution focused. Mean that you focus on the solution instead of the problem. And of course, when you focus on the solution, there'll be a lot of things, good things coming to you.
Yes, exactly.
Then you'll know who you need to seek help from. What kind of knowledge and skill that you need to require to complete the task given to you. I know that, being an apprentice is like you are thrown into the pool and you need to survive. And I believe that actually makes a difference of this apprenticeship program, because at the end of the day, you will only not survive when you are thrown into the pool, but you will also thrive. You become a good swimmer eventually, I believe. So Izin, how's your preparation in terms of transitioning from your student life to professional life?
Thanks, Najro. Yeah, I think I have 3 key takeaways. So first one is, similar as what Khalid mentioned. So always explore, keep learning, because I do believe that lifelong learning is really important, especially in this fast-paced world, right? So I think this sort of mindset was incorporated in me during uni time, and also like among my peers, and also like the people around me, like who have the similar mindset. So I do feel like lifelong learning is important, because the skill sets that you have now might not be relevant in like 10 years time later. So to be able to keep yourself being relevant in this industry, I feel like definitely always need to upskill yourself. And like what Khalid and Sadika mentioned, right? There are a lot of resources and available videos and courses out there. So just feel free to use them, and you'll be able to choose like what interests you. And the second thing is, I feel like having a growth mindset is also really important. So you might feel like sometimes you want to like give up easily, but I feel like in this apprenticeship, the thing that I learned is you might feel lost at some point. You might feel confused. You don't really know what you want. You don't really know what you're doing. But at the same time, you keep thriving. You keep exploring, and you will find out things that really interest you. Slowly, you'll find solutions to your problem. So I do feel like having a growth mindset, and don't give up easily, don't afraid of failure, is also really important. And also the other thing that I find really crucial is having a good mentor. But in this case, I don't think that a mentor has to be someone. I feel like your peers, your parents, or people that your colleagues, people that you hang out with, anyone can be your mentor, as long as you can learn something from them. You can see that the good qualities in them that you want to have, or like the piece of advice that give to you in your early career path. I think those are very important, especially for your transition from a student to as a working profession. Yeah.
So having a growth mindset helps you, right?
Yes, definitely.
And also the people around you, so
Yes.
that don't limit yourself. I mean, the knowledge. I mean, we have good people around us that we can learn from a lot of things, and you can learn anything and everything from the people around you. Only that sometimes we don't realize that those are our knowledge resources. So we always feel that if you want to learn something, you must learn from people up there, but actually they are together with you now. But even you mentioned about, I mean, you had some time when you are clueless during the apprenticeship.
Yes.
So, I mean, when you first joined this CXO Apprenticeship program, and you are directly mentored by CTO, right?
Yes, correct.
So, what actually you want to achieve from the program before, and actually I mean, maybe you can share some of proudest moment and also your lowest point as an apprentice.
Ooh, deep question.
Deep question.
Okay. Nah, yeah, just it was like roughly 2 years ago when I first joined the program. So it's like, kind of make me think back of like the memories. So when I first joined the program, I think I was really like really excited and really looking forward to that 1 year journey, because I mean, it's when I joined, I'm like, oh my God, it's such a cool program, like how often you get to have like one-on-one direct mentorship from a C-suite, right? And I believe that in telco industry, which is like super fast paced, I will be able to, pick up skills and learn a lot. So these are the things that I look forward to. Like I also look forward to a very steep learning curve, as like I feel like as an engineering student, I don't know if it's a stereotype. Like we just love challenges. We love solving problems. So so yeah, this was my expectation.
No offense, Khalid.
Yeah, when I first joined the program. And of course, like the 1 year journey has been amazing. But you know, when you first like what Nazro you mentioned, you being an apprentice is sort of like being thrown to a pool, and you just need to explore and thrive. So at that moment, you know, sometimes you will feel lost or confused, just because like you, first of all, you are new, you don't really have any relevant skill sets maybe to the industry. You don't really have like working experience related to telco industry as well. So you sometimes you feel frustrated because you want to help, you want to contribute, but at the same time you don't feel like you are contributing enough. But I feel like throughout the journey, I do appreciate those moments, because I feel like it's a process that you have to go through. Especially, I think fresh grads or like final year students, you can relate as well, because I think in those moments are where you know actually slow down and reflect on what you actually want to do, and how you gonna make your decision, how you gonna change how you do things. So I do feel like those moments in that 1 year actually helped me in growing a lot. And also I feel like the proudest moment I would like to share, like the proudest moment in that 1 year is probably I managed to, you know, collaborate with IT DevOps team to organize like a Digi very first botathon, which is like you know, like hackathon, but robot botathon for like Digizens. As a Digizen, we believe that, you know, always explore and, you know, always learning is crucial. So actually, a lot of Digizens participate in the botathon itself, and actually learn how to, you know, automate their business processes. So at that moment, I do feel like, hey, I managed to, you know, like make an impact and make, you know, like influence people in like what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay, so botathon is your aha moment, and yeah, I also understand that. I mean, your lowest point is not much about. It's more about self-doubt, lah. Mean that you question yourself a lot, and you take it positively when you have that self-doubt. You take it as a reflection period for you. So you reflect yourself and you find yourself more, you understand yourself more, and then after that you move forward. I think that's what you did. Okay. So Khalid, what was your proudest moment and what was your lowest point as an apprentice?
Thank you. So I think my proudest moment and my lowest point are both connected to the same event, to the same project that I had during my apprenticeship about 3 years ago, right?
Okay.
So it goes back to Yisin as well, what you just said as well. It's a lot of self-doubt. So that was my lowest point. I think when I first started my apprenticeship, the first project that Albert, our CEO, he put me on was this thing called the Raja Futsal, right? Which is a nationwide futsal tournament that was the first of its kind for Digi lah, and was one of the biggest tournaments that we've had. So it was supposed to be like the biggest futsal tournament in Malaysia, you know, with a huge prize pool and everything. And this was a huge project, right? And so when you're starting out, when you're starting out in your career, you don't have a lot of experience under your belt, and to be put under these kind of projects, right? You get very nervous and you self-doubt yourself a lot. I think that was one of the things that I share with Yisin, and it's self-doubt. However, I think it's super, super important to understand that having self-doubt is not a bad thing, because it means you're reflecting on yourself. It means you're reflecting on your decisions, and you should always do that. You should always check yourself, and you should always understand, you know, is my decision the best? Can I do better? And yeah, so I think a lot of my low moments during my apprenticeship was because of self-doubt. It was because I thought, like, you know, I'm not doing this right. I'm not doing it right. I should be able to do better. And because of that, you do better. And so then that transitions to my highest moment, right? My high point in my apprenticeship was when the project launched, and it launched successfully, I would say. And it really was, one of the biggest futsal tournaments in Malaysia. And I think like my part of the project, which was to help design and help build the website, as well as manage the financial and legal aspects of the program, it worked, right? It worked really well. And it was something I was really proud of because I had never done anything legal before. I had never done anything with finances before. And I definitely have not designed a website. But because of my apprenticeship, I got those experiences. And because of the mentorship that I had, not only from Alban, but also from the heads of department and the people I was working with, I would say that it turned out quite well. So that was one of the proudest and also the lowest moments in my life. Right? It was all related to that one big project that I undertook during my apprenticeship. Yep.
Okay, Khalid.
Yes, sir.
I mean, for you, it's the Raja Futsal thing. Yeah, it's interesting that you are being asked to do things beyond your skill set. I mean, you need to develop a website for that particular project, and then you need to manage the financial part. Financial, I think, okay, because you are actually a business student, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but the website, I think it's a bit technical. Then you need to adapt to it, and I believe the period or the timeline given to you is very, very short.
Yep.
So you need
it was,
to,
like with most projects, you have to rejig a lot, meaning that you have to look at it and then you have to rethink it. So how it started in the beginning was not how it was in the end. And so in the end, we only had like 4 months to really push everything out. And it was, due to a dedicated team. It was due to everybody pushing and giving that 150% to the project that it really worked out. And it wasn't definitely one person's job. It was, a whole group of people. So when everybody works together and they're all dedicated, that's when a project really can take off. And, I'm thankful to have that experience.
okay. Sarika, I mean, you have 4 months left for your apprenticeship, but I believe that for the previous 8 months, I think you have done a lot of projects. You have a lot of experience too, and you are one of apprentices who actually experienced MCO during your apprenticeship. So, what is your proudest moment and your lowest point during your period of apprenticeship?
Okay, I think the lowest moment would be, I think it ties back to what Khalid and Yusin has shared. I think everyone has self-doubts when we are thrown into something relatively new, something so foreign. So like for me, my mentor Alban as well. So he gave me projects with home broadband team. So our home broadband project is quite new in Digi. We launched last year at a specific footprint. So moving forward, we wanted to reach out to more customers. So my project was that how can I engage with more customers? How do I gain more tractions? So I need to visualize marketing communications in order to reach out to these customers. I also need to reach out to the respective building management in order for us to proceed with our campaigns. So at first it was daunting because, well, I don't have, as I mentioned, I don't have the knowledge in it. So how can I convince people to actually let Digi do projects with them, right? So I do have like self-doubts, and sometimes I even like tell my my reportings in the team that, like, what if I screw up? What if I didn't manage to seal the deal and I'm gonna disappoint the team? And they were very encouraging though. They were just saying that, it's okay if you don't. I mean, at least we know, we identified that, okay, maybe this way it didn't work, then we need to find other ways to secure the deal. So in that period of time, even though it's hard, but when you have like people keep on pushing you and be positive, you yourself will quickly adapt to that. You know what? You don't have to be negative. As I mentioned, don't focus on the problem, just focus on the solutions. So instead of being overwhelmed by it, I go ahead, I find ways to actually reach out to this respective building manager. And I was quite surprised that the process itself was quite smooth. They were quite tolerable. It was easy to negotiate with them. So I feel quite proud that as a freshie, right, you were given this big responsible to engage with them, to convince them to deal with us. So I feel quite proud that I managed to do that, because you have the expectation that I'm a fresh grad. I don't have the knowledge in this. Like how can I ensure that I don't disappoint my team? So when I managed to like seal the deal, I was very proud of myself though. Like I didn't thought that I can actually do that. So I think like not just us three, I feel all the apprentices feel the same thing. We have our own self-doubts, but it's important that just stop for a while and think back. This is just your negative thoughts. You are more than this. Just stay positive. There's always a way out of this. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, one conclusion that we have from all three of you is that, I mean, self-doubt is something that is normal. And even for someone who's been in professional world for the past 16, 17 years, it's still happening now for me. I mean, I still have this kind of self-doubt and then kind of that reflection, and that's how actually we move forward and we progress. Okay. When you embark in this Digi apprenticeship program, you need to work with the chief officers. And every professional, I believe, know that it's not easy to work with chief officers, especially when you are a young talent. So very briefly share how actually you can, how actually you adapt to their working style and how you make yourself adaptable and able to work alongside the chief officers.
I think this is a very tricky question. Very dangerous question, yeah, to then comment about our bosses. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's not comment. It's more.
Yeah.
I know that.
I understand. Yeah.
The challenge with young people is, I mean, people mentioning about millennials. You are lacking in some soft skill. I mean, you don't know how to work with your colleague, and some to a certain extent even label the new generation as tomato generation. So
wow.
Which is tomato generation. Looks nice and looks nice outside, but very soft inside. So I have worked with young people, and I know that you are not tomato.
Oh, thank you. We are durian. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
So only that maybe you need a proper guidance and proper coaching. But let us now share your experience and how you actually you use that 12 months to adapt to your chief officers.
So I mean, if you don't mind, I'll go first lah, and then the lovely ladies can share in a bit. So for my experience, right, and I think this was highlighted by Alban in one of his other webinars as well. It's a learning experience for both sides. As a CXO apprentice, it's not only you learning from your chief officer, but it's also your chief officer learning from you. So adaptability comes in both ends. It's them adapting to us, and also us adapting to them. Yeah. So let me give you an example. Being the apprentice to Albert, the CEO, he's super busy. He's always running in and out of meetings. He's always running to his car for external meetings back before MCO, right? 3 years ago. So it's adapting to his schedule. It's as easy as just talking to him on the way down. Like in Digi, we all have 4 floors, and we practice a lot of like healthy habits. So everybody just walks from floor to floor, right? So even when he's just walking down to his car, that's when you catch him, and then he himself, whenever he has his lunch, right? He has his lunch times. He would just be like, "Hey, Khalid, I have like 30 minutes right now. You want to have a quick chat?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, sure." So it's or both of us adapting to each other in that sense.
This is what we call elevator speech,
Yeah,
Elevator
exactly.
speech
It's
means that you have
basically,
about 6 seconds when you are in the lift with your boss. So
Yeah.
you need to pitch to your boss within that 6 to 10 seconds.
exactly. But in Digi, we don't. I mean, we have elevators, of course, but we don't take the elevator. So
But
we're walking.
your
So we have more than
staircase-
6 to 10 seconds.
staircase pitch,
Staircase
Okay.
pitch. So
Okay.
so it's adapting to the schedule, and it's a lot of adaptability in that sense. And I also feel like we are lucky to have chief officers who are open to a lot of different things. Like here at Digi, our culture is very flat. And what I mean by flat structure is the CEO doesn't sit on like the highest floor. He doesn't sit in his own room, his own office space. He sits, in the like a normal space. His table is like a regular table. His chair is like a regular table. And just sits among the employees. And he walks around the office like everybody sees him on a regular basis every single day. And so having that flat structure and having leaders that are open to suggestions from anybody really helped the mentorship process as well. So, and really helped the adaptability as well. Because, as a fresh graduate, right, you sometimes ask all these weird, random questions, and they entertain those questions, right? They answer, and they answer, with as much respect as they would to an HOD, to a head of department.
Okay.
So that's how we adapted. I feel that's how my experience was.
Izin, how you adapted to your CTO?
I think it's quite similar to Karit's experience as
Yeah.
well. So I still remember like when I was having the interview with K7, the CTO, I did ask a question. Oh, so what are your expectations for your apprentice? So and not only then, like throughout the whole journey, he did keep telling me that it's always learning from both sides. So I obviously I learn and look up to him, right? But at the same time, they would also like to connect to millennials. They would like to know like what's on our mind and what's our thought process, and how do we make decision and stuff. So I feel like at the same time he's also, all of them are very busy, have very tight schedule. So that's one thing that I learned from the program, which is you always need to take initiative in whatever things that you do. So if you feel like you're not getting, for example, if you're not getting enough time with your CXO, all you can do is like what Khalid mentioned, like have a lunch with them, or like walk down the stairs with them, or you can just sort of like take initiative to ask. Because I feel like as youngsters, maybe we sometimes feel like, oh, we're wasting their time. I just have like a few stupid questions, I don't want to bother them. They have important meetings that they need to attend to. But like that was like the first few months of the program. But after that, I do feel like you know what, it's okay. I am in this program, and I would like to gain as much as like what I can get throughout this 1 year, because 1 year is really short. So and I feel like, hey, you know what, it works, because all you need to do is take initiative. All you need to do is ask, and people are always there for you. Yeah.
Okay. A keyword is, don't be afraid to ask questions. And sorry, even though sometimes you think that you feel that, you have self-doubt that the question might be a stupid question, for example, but you never know until you ask, actually. So it's good to have that kind of mindset throughout your apprenticeship, and I believe that actually helps you throughout your apprenticeship with your CTO. Sadika, what was your experience? It's not what is your experience now?
Honestly, like for me, I think mine, I can resonate with Yisin. Like the first few months of my apprenticeship, I feel like well, as a freshie, right, you're not sure like how to deal with a C level, because it's not something that you see every day, that as a freshie manage a C level. So when I was thrown in this program, I was unsure and I was nervous, because obviously there are expectations, and you never, like from my previous company, I don't get to like deal with higher senior management. So when I was in the program, as what Yisin said, I feel like, okay, what if I waste his time with my stupid questions? What if, like maybe the questions that I'm asking is not worth his time? So yeah, I think you need to realize that your mentors, they want to help you actually. That's why you are in this program. That's why this program was created in the first place. They want to groom you into a successful leader in Malaysia. And at first it was hard to like let my guard down, because you don't know how to like communicate with them. So after like a couple of engagement and session, slowly I took the courage to just be open, just be flexible. These people, they want to help you, so why are you like restricting yourself? So yeah, so that's what that's my experience like throughout my apprenticeship. You just need to be open and take the courage, just be positive that these people, they really want to help you. So if you don't open for help, right, like how can you help yourselves?
I mean, it's like helping them to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that that's the dilemma of every young professional, especially when you are dealing with C-suite level. You need to have that courage, and you want to give a good impression to them. So that's the reason why sometimes you have self-doubt whether the question that you are asking, whether it's a stupid or intelligent question or not. But at the end of the day, it goes back to communication, because they are, after all, human beings also. So I believe that's how you have experienced your apprenticeship. I think now it's time for us to take the Q&A session, Q&A from the floor. Okay, we have one question from Haja Fatini. Haja is talking about goals mindset. So how do you make yourself disciplined throughout the journey to achieve your goal? Because sometimes we tend to give up halfway through. So maybe we give this to two apprentices who have completed the apprenticeship. So it's either Khalid or Yizin.
You said you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. But I think like time's almost up. I'll just be quick. So I do believe that, like what I mentioned before, right? Surrounding yourself with positive people, or like people who can help you to grow, is definitely important. So in this case, I mean, we're all humans at the end of the day. Sometimes you do feel like, I just want to procrastinate for a while, or sometimes, I want to give up easily. But I do feel like in those moments, other than having, awareness, like within like yourself, if you don't feel like your inner strength is sufficient, I do feel like your peers and people that, like in your surrounding are very important too, because they are the one who can influence you and also like keep you motivated to do like what you're doing, or like pursue your goals. Yeah.
Okay. And then
Thanks,
I guess I'll
Yizin.
share as well.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize that mindset is actually a muscle. And what I mean by that is that, with any muscle, you have to keep and constantly train it. And with mindset, it's not different, right? So so the question goes back to, how do you make yourself more disciplined throughout your journey? I think it's one, what Yisin said, keep people around you who inspire you. Have your mentor, have a friend who helps inspire you. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is that you have to have quick wins. Okay, what do I mean by quick wins? Let's just say you're learning how to do digital marketing, for example. You don't need to sit down for 8 hours every single day to learn your digital marketing course. You can take it bit by bit and fill in those gaps with things that you love doing, or things that are more interesting, right? Have those quick wins day in, day out. Maybe spend 30 minutes on digital marketing, you give yourself that. And then, if you can achieve that goal, the next day you give yourself 35 minutes and then 40, 45, having those quick wins really helps me personally in my journey to achieve goals, right? Especially if they're like quote unquote boring goals, like, reading a textbook or getting through a course, right? So having those quick wins. And the third one, I feel like, is training it daily. You cannot train your mindset once a month. You cannot train your mindset once a week. It has to be a daily thing. You have to have these quick wins every single day. And day in, day out, just like any muscle, just like if you go to the gym every single day or you go jogging every single day, you will build that muscle of having a good mindset. Yeah, that's my tip.
So, yeah, in other words, you keep it something that you do it continuously, make it a routine for you to train your mindset. I think, yeah, that's a good survival tips. And we also have another question from Sharifah Mariam. Sharifah Mariam asks, I mean, it's not about surviving only, how actually you can thrive in the industry or in your profession. I mean, means that not to be just another apprenticeship, but you want to be the X factor, the X apprenticeship. So, Sadi, I mean, how to go beyond becoming a normal professional to an outstanding professional. So, mean that you thrive in your profession.
I think for this is basically you need to bring something different to the table. I think that's what makes you stand out from the crowd. Like, what is your X factor compared to the rest? So, okay, maybe you are you're a professional in fiber, for example. So, but then even though you are a professional, you're a professional in fiber industry, but you need to, for me personally, you need to know other info and knowledge as well, so that you can be relevant. Like, for example, let's take a scenario. Okay, maybe I've in the fiber industry for 5 or 10 years. So I feel like, maybe I needed to try a different pathway. So how can you be relevant if you want to venture into a different industry? So I think whilst building your career in that particular industry, you also need to be more open to other stuff so that you can stay relevant in the near future.
Okay, one thing is to offer something different that other people not able to offer. And another thing is to keep yourself progressing by learning new things beyond your current skill set. So,
sorry, Nazar, can I just add on to that?
Yeah.
So I think just to answer that question real quick, just briefly, because we're running out of time as well.
Yep.
I feel like there are three. I came up with this quite a while back, lah. The 3 C's that I feel like you should adhere to is C for cat. Yeah. The first one is challenge yourself, right? Always look for new challenges. Always look at different ways on how you can do things, right? Even though it's wrong, nobody knows until you actually try it, right? There's this very famous quote by Nelson Mandela, if I'm not mistaken. He says, "It is only impossible until it is done." People say like, "Oh, cannot lah, tak boleh lah, no time lah, I don't have this, I don't have that," until somebody actually does it, and then everybody be quiet, and then everybody shuts up. So you should be that person. If everybody says you can't do it, you be that one who can. Yeah. The second C is curious. Always be curious, and always try to learn new things every single day. Right? If you're in an industry like engineering, be curious about the industry. What are the new topics about engineering nowadays? How has it changed over the last 10 to 15 years compared to now? What is engineering doing now during the MCO? Okay, and the last one, the third C is committed. Okay, be committed into something, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Like you said earlier in Nazrul, it could be gaming, right? If you're committed to gaming, becoming a Twitch streamer or whatever, then show your commitment to that. Show your passion and pursue it. Try as hard as you can. If it doesn't work, tak apa. As long as you have tried, and as long as you know that you've given your best shot at it. And I think the last, I said 3 C's, but just one last bit of advice. So again, the 3 C's are challenge yourself, be curious, and be committed. But if I could just add one last bit of advice, it's to read more. I think reading has really opened my mind to a bit of things, quite a lot of things lah. And if I could just suggest one book that you read right now to those people who think that, you know, it's really hard time right now being in the MCO, being a fresh grad, I would suggest reading this one book called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And it's a very good book which shows you that, you know, life can be a little bit of luck, but it's also a lot of persistence. Yeah. So again, it's Malcolm Gladwell. The book is called Outliers. It's very good. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
3
about it.
C's plus R, reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 C's plus R.
One final round from Izin. Your experience, Izin.
Sorry, the question. Could someone repeat the question? Khalid was like elaborating on like a lot of.
Sorry.
No, the question is actually how actually you can. It's not only about surviving. It's more to thrive and excel in your profession.
Yes, definitely. I think I'll just keep it short. I only have one. So I do feel like your attitude in like how you treat things and how you deal with things is very important, which is also relevant to what Khalid mentioned, right? Like the 3 C's. So actually, at the end of the day, I feel like it's up to you. Either you want to make it work or not. Either you want to make initiative to, you know, reach out to people, to ask them questions, to tell them like what's your opinion and how you want to do things. So I do feel like you yourself play a really important role in getting what you want to achieve, and also keep learning, like what we have mentioned, and keep emphasizing, you know, throughout this session. So I do feel like, yeah, just read a lot and upskill yourself. If you're interested in certain skills, just you know, watch videos or find courses to like just do it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Izin. I just can conclude that from the feedback that we are getting from the 3 apprentices, you just need to keep progressing and you need to have a very growth mindset. If you have that kind of growth mindset, then you will survive throughout your profession. So I think that conclude all the 3 C's, reading plus all the Sadika experience and Izin experience also. Okay, I think we have come to the end of the session. Thank you to Khalid, Izin and Sadika. I'm learning from all of you too. I learned a lot of things from all 3 apprentices. And to those all participating, thank you to all of you. If you'd like to be one of next Digi CXO Apprentices, so please scan the QR code on your screen later when we put on the screen for you to apply for this Digi CXO Apprenticeship program. And we do hope that this sharing session benefit all of you. And of course, we wish you all the best in your future endeavor. And let us brave this situation together. As the hashtag says, kita mesti menang. I always say that to young graduates, always take this crisis as an opportunity for us to thrive. And let us do this together. And one final word is stay safe and take care, everyone. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank
Take
you.
care, guys.
Thank
Be
you.
safe.
Thank you.
Bye.